Alright, this is another YouTube video, but I was supposed to get another package for the G today, but it's supposed to be delivered at 3. It's 4 o'clock. I'm on my way to work. Just got here, actually, matter of fact. But I got test pipes for the car, resonated Berks. So we're going to put those on because I still have stock cats on the car, and then the exhaust system should be complete. And I'm about to record a little sound clip for y'all so we can get it before and then after I put the test pipes on. But I'm about to throw that up in a minute. I also bought upper control arms so we can camber out the front. Hold on, my wipers. So we can camber out the front of the car. We should be able to go like -6, -7 in the front. And I also have another goodie for the car, which I'll show y'all whenever I get off of work and then grab the package from home. But I'm gonna throw out a little sound clip of how the car sounds right now before the test pipes. All right, we're about to see how this sounds real quick. She don't sound too bad as it is right now, but I think the resonateds are gonna make the car sound less raspy and a little bit louder, which is exactly what I want. But I'm not trying to die and be too obnoxious with the car. But I'm gonna put the install later, put the clip on of me unboxing them and the other goodies I got for the car. Well, it is the next morning. I did open these up last night, so it's kind of a little off. Shipping label in there, but I got them right here. Did open them up just to make sure everything was in there. Got our gaskets, which I don't know, those look a little weird. I got these. I have some different gaskets. I don't know if I'm gonna use those or not. There you go. Pretty nice quality, honestly, for not being that expensive either. I had to go buy an O2 sensor socket, and I'm gonna start the installing on these. Hopefully this car sounds a bit better than it did before, because I really don't like the tone the exhaust has on it right now. It's just kind of off-putting. Another goodie we got for the car. I'm not going to be putting this on right away, but I'm sure you can see what that is. High flow intake fuel pump. E85 one. Ooh, focus. Compatible. Methanol. So whenever I go buy injectors, and then that's actually it. I just need injectors when I go get tuned. But injectors are just the expensive part, and the tune, to be real. And then we got one more thing for the car. These are front upper control arms for the G. I got these off of my friend. He gave me a really good deal on these upper control arms. I'll put his at right here. But if we open them up, he barely ran them for like a week. They're pretty much brand new. God damn. They're pretty much brand new. They have like a little scuff or two on them, but really good deal on them. So shout out to him. But I'm gonna be putting those test pipes on. About to go get the O2 sensor socket as we speak, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm on my way to AutoZone right now because I don't have a 22mm wrench anywhere or an O2 sensor socket. So I need to go get that so I can go take my stock O2 sensors off, and then we'll be able to put the new resonated test pipes on. And I know, I kind of actually like how the car sounds right now, so I hope these test pipes change it up a bit. I also do need them to get tuned, but I mean, we're gonna see. Alright, we got the O2 sensor socket, but I want to get a little pull-in on the car before, just to get a little idea of how it sounds beforehand on a closed track, obviously. So okay, it actually doesn't even sound half bad. Ooh, that is a bad angle, but So I cannot wait to put these test pipes on. Hopefully it changes some of the exhaust pretty well. Dang, she doesn't look too half bad. She's really looking like... Bitch broke this, you can't be serious. If you tryna fuck, let me not do that. But no, we're waiting for the car to cool down. Got the socket right here. We're gonna jack her up in there and then get started on the cats. Currently jacking up the car right now. And I'll see you guys underneath it when we're starting to put the new test pipes on. We'll guess taking the old ones off because I don't have anyone to help me. So I'm gonna try getting everything off from under the car so I don't have to try and go through the hood. So hopefully that works out somewhat well. Alright, so I don't know well all y'all are gonna be able to see this, but stuff's still a little bit hot. We're gonna have to take these two off. These are not stock. This cat was clogged and it was getting red hot, so I took it off and kind of gutted it. So we're gonna need to take this off. I'm gonna take all the ones up there. I've taken these off before. Usually people call like the demon bolt or whatever. I've taken that off, so we shouldn't have an issue. Taking the bolt off. And I'm basically gonna do the same thing on the other side. This isn't really gonna be how to. Try and give some advice and show you how I get some of the harder bolts out, but yeah, about to get started on this. You also you're gonna need to disconnect. Where is it? A little 10mm right there, and then disconnect your O2 sensors. You either have a 22mm wrench or 22mm O2 socket, and then 14mm if they're the stock bolts, and those up there are gonna be 14s too. So we've gotten my Z1Y pipe off of the car. Got the little, oh, hold on. Got the little brace for these off. Got that sitting right there. Bolts were sitting there. And we're about to take this cat off. And I'm gonna show you guys. You need to get yourself a swivel and you need to get yourself a swivel socket. Put a 14 on it. And get a long extension. I'm gonna show you guys in a second, but it's a really easy way to get both bolts off. And I really don't know why people go through the engine bay, because you can access them really easily from right here. I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to get this on video, because I remember how tight I tightened these last time. But basically, you can just come up through here and, alright, I didn't tighten them last time, and just move these. Same with the demon bolt, everybody. I says, oh, you have to get extensions, go through the engine bay. I don't know how it is on that side. Oh God, hold on. Oh my Lord, that one's really on there. Okay, hold on. I'm about to grab the breaker bar for that. All right, now that we got the breaker bar, this little guy. Hopefully this doesn't fall my face, and we just, there we go. All right, she should be broken loose. There we go. And whenever you're taking these off, I usually see always one of the studs on the header, and from the header to the cat stay in. You're gonna wanna keep that in. That's a guide stud so you can align everything correctly. I've seen people drill them out and stuff. You don't need to do any of that. If you want to, you can. If you want to have matching bolts everywhere for whatever reason you want to drill it out, go ahead. But I'm keeping that one in. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass at some point. But yeah, I'm gonna cut the video to when we got the new pipe on, and hopefully I don't run into any more trouble. All right, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but I got my ratchet. My ratchet, really long extension up to a swivel and a 14 to get that bolt. And look. Yeah. You guys get the idea. I gotta have two hands to do this, but you guys get the idea. Swivel, 14, long socket to, or long extension, and then to the ratchet. But I'm about to take these off, and then hopefully this car is sounding better than it did before. Now that we got the cat out of the car, the other thing we're gonna have to do is remove our O2 sensors for the new test pipes. You're gonna have to get yourself 22mm wrench or a, what is a 7/8 O2 sensor socket. It says right there, 22 millimeters, 7/8. You need it because it needs that slot in it so the cable doesn't bind up. I'm gonna try and crack this real quick and get her off. All right, yeah. Sorry, I had to use more than one hand there, but see, crack it loose. Oh, there we go. Go, just twist your O2 sensor off like that. Keep these in a safe way. I'm just about to set them right there, but now we got the O2 sensor off. We can begin. Take another one off, and I'm about to put the new test pipe in. Get rid of these stinky cats. This one's kind of already gutted because it was clogged, but yeah, now we can get rid of the old stock cats. I wish I had better filming equipment to show you guys, but as you can see, this is the other side of the car of the cat we're taking off. It's pretty much the same process as the other. Just crack her loose. You want to spray, I don't know if, because this car was never up north. I have almost partially no rust on this car at all. Spray these with penetrating fluid. You can see, if you're by yourself and you don't have someone to help you take the test pipes off, or the demon bolts, you can just stick a ratchet up there and then breaker bar, and then just break it loose and then slowly take it out. It's just better if you're working on this by yourself, and it's also easier than taking a bunch of stuff off in the engine bay just to take this bolt off too. And I like this way more. It's just way easier to get this stuff done. But we're taking the second cat off now. I'm gonna repeat the process. Take the O2 sensor off of this one, install it on the new test pipes, and then we're gonna be golden. All right, guys, so it's gonna be a little different on this side because we have our steering shaft, goes our steering wheel in the way of this bolt, so we can't really use the method we did in the last one, but you can. I put a little extension on that 14, and I'm gonna try and crack this loose because we also have hoses and stuff in the way for the rack. So that is the last thing we want to hit because I kind of like power steering, but I'm gonna try and crack that with the breaker bar, and hopefully nothing snaps or breaks. Hopefully we have no more problems. All right, I lied. I don't know how well you can see this, but we got the longest extensions ever going down to that top bolt, and we're gonna try and take it off because it is just pretty impossible to reach there. You shouldn't have to take anything through on the top, but hopefully this works. All right, we got both the stock cats out now. I'm a mess, by the way, because my car has the worst rear main seal leak known to man that I haven't addressed yet. But we got both these guys out, and now here comes the fun part of putting the nice new shiny parts on. So I'm gonna kind of wash my hands up so I don't get them too dirty, even though it's not really gonna matter, but yeah. All right, so we got the new test pipes out, Berk resonateds. We got the gaskets it came with, and the new hardware. And shout out to Concept Z. They shipped this thing with really good packaging. All this stuff is in like brand new condition, and I mean, if you think about it, I even got like a $300 sticker, but no, we're gonna start throwing these guys on, and hopefully they sound half decent. Hopefully everything goes back together with no issues. But yeah, brand new bolts and everything, new gaskets. I think it's gonna turn out pretty well. Let's get a quick little look at these things before we put them in though. Look how nice these things are. Got Berk stamped right there, nice welds all around. I'm about to put the right side in first, or passenger side I meant, and then we're gonna put this one in after. But these, I think it'll be easier to put everything back together instead of putting everything in, All right, hopefully we'll be back with a sound clip, and hopefully nothing's not broken or snapped like I've said 4 times before, but all right. Look how good that looks, bro. Berk. Oh my Lord. I gotta do the other side though. This side's all good now. All right, we just finished the test pipes on the G. About to start it up for the first time. Everything's all buttoned up. Way louder. My God. True VQ owner now. Golly. Got to get under the car right now because Some of these bolts were a little hard to tighten. I'm gonna try and find any exhaust leaks. I hope not, but dude, we're gonna have to get some rev clips once this car is warmed up. I'll have to go drive somewhere because my neighbors already hate the car is kind of loud. So I will put in some clips, hopefully maybe a drive-by or two, and then, but we're about to get some revs after this, after the car warms up and I put all the tools away and stuff. This is the morning after. We just put the test pipes on. I had to give her a cold start because it is cold outside. And it's the next morning, so we're gonna see how a fresh cold start sounds on these new test pipes. That'll be the Berk resonated test pipe install on the G. Next video, we're gonna be putting the front upper control arms on the car and see how negative six looks all the way around. I hope the video was in some sort of help for y'all, because I know I didn't want to go through the engine bay and put like extensions through, but I had to. But at least on the passenger side, you won't have to go through the engine bay, and at least the driver's side seems somewhat manageable doing it by yourself, because every time I've seen it, somebody's had some sort of help. So I hope the video was some way half decent and y'all learned something from it.